All right, I am live, and we have Ray in here. So it was funny because I was just talking to Ray Orsini from YT VoIP because I have some stuff I want to talk to Ray about. I've been busy building a new studio. I've been doing all kinds of fun stuff. But let's see, what do we have here? Someone's driving from the UP to Lansing, so cool. Getting ready for vacation afternoon, Mac Telecom Networks. But yeah, so many things going on. And actually here, I'll share the pictures I was sharing with. Well, can I share all these? Hold on. I gotta make sure there's nothing in here personal. And I'm just gonna share the whole screen at that point. This part isn't personal. I can drag this over. Let's see. We'll go and say to share. I gotta get faster at this. I gotta get to where Ray's at, where he just has someone doing this part for him, right? Yes, I'm doing Google Photos for this one. I'll talk about Synology Photos at least a little bit. It's a better way to make this. There we go. That makes it more. Oh, I should rebrand this. Hold on. I forgot to switch this. It's one of those days, just got a lot of stuff going on. Yes, I'm working on a Synology video. That's what those photos are for and videos. But the new studio has lighting in it now. So I finished the electrical. That's why there's electrical on the floor. That's we did smart things like put double gain plugs in where this is where Tom's desk is going, and I don't want extension cords, so we just used a bunch of double gain plugs. Hold on, let me bring the mic closer to me. Probably sound better. There we go. So watch today's Tom cuts the stream short so he can get home to watch Discovery. And I am cutting the stream short because I have somewhere to be and somewhere to go. I have an event to go to today, a physical in-person event that I'm going to. But yeah, the studio, it looks way cooler with the RGB lighting, but it's not terrible without it. So it's kind of built. That's a lot more things getting built here. It's going to be fun. I'm excited about it. Running electrical and running wires and the drywall's here. So I got to put all the drywall up. So that's so many things. Oh, Star Trek Discovery. I was thinking Discovery Channel. I was really confused. Yeah, I'll watch Discovery. I do like Discovery. I'll watch that later. Probably I'll figure out how to acquire it from wherever. But nonetheless, one of my goals of having all this is, by the way, if you didn't, so I was laughing about this. This is the my egress window for my basement. So then I have this in my office, and there's only one window because I don't want windows in my office. I was all right. That's stupid, I know, but I just want window, not windows. Hey, you can see my sad rack that has wires everywhere because we know the rack doesn't live here because this is actually the bathroom. So the rack is going to end up elsewhere. So we put giant service loops when I ran all the wire. So that's going to be there. Plus we have some plans of how to connect the electrical. This will be my bathroom for down here. This will allow me to do everything and do late night streams and things like that. So, yes, they kind of do look like Windows 11. I got to figure out all the decorating I'm doing down here. There's a lot of things. I'm trying to narrow it down so I don't buy it all at once and just turn it into a crazy thing. But I have an idea that I might do a little bit of. I'm not a big nostalgia person, but I might find a TRS-80 because it is one of the first computers I had, and have it on display in there. I want to make like a wall box for it. That way, I don't care if it works or something. I just kind of think they're novel and have a couple things on there. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. I will have a lot of my 2600 stuff that I'll probably put in there. So that'll be on the list. The Synology videos that are coming though, this is probably this video. This is the some of the B-roll I was shooting. I sometimes just shoot it with my phone because it's easier. But yeah, pretty nice the way this video will be out soon. There's also something that I know people complain about with Synology, the drive requirements. So that is what it is. I'll be discussing some of that and some of the issues with and things like that. Do your Amcrest cameras do smart processing on the camera itself? Yes, they do. The one thing about the someone recognized Ray, yeah, Ray's got to get a new picture. He's got such a nice beard now, and he doesn't have it in his profile picture. And if you don't know who Ray OIT VoIP, me and him did a few videos together. I've been on Tech Bar with him. We ate some spicy foods and regretted it because they were so hot. Check out OIT VoIP and their YouTube channel, the Tech Bar. It's a fun time. Their live streams go way longer than mine, so definitely a lot of fun. Easy enough to check those guys out and subscribe to them. Nonetheless, the questions about the cameras, let me see if I can pull one up. I think I can actually log into them from here. I'm going to do a video on the cameras. I have a few. Yeah, it's just not you without the beard, Ray. I mean, what are we going to do? So let's pull up the cameras and pull up the, which one's it going to be? My garage driveway one. What's the IP address to that? So 1 second. And I'll share the screen as I pull it up. Actually, let me make it bigger. If I do it as a tab, there we go. Give you a little bit better review. And I think, so when you're doing these, this is something I'm going to cover in a dedicated video, is going to be how the event detection works for video. There's some nuance to getting this set up properly. So I'm going to, yeah, I have all these cameras that are mounted. I bought the cameras again, and I'm going to have them all on the table doing a review so I can kind of explain these different functions and these different features, how the smart plan works, how the, if you set up IVS in here, there's a lot of little details into how you do that that's maybe not immediately clear, or certainly wasn't to me. So I'm assuming other people have questions around it. So I'm probably going to have to do a video explaining how the Amcrest cameras work with the, what do you call it? So if we go ahead and switch over, for example, to my front porch camera. Let me go back over to setup here. You can see it's the same interface. So it's interesting how this works. This one's got a slightly different feature set. So you can set these, and you have to draw the rule areas. You see how you can see the rule area there. Rule area for abandoned or missing object. There's a little nuance to the way all this works. So but they work really well. I mean, one thing is crazy is just how good the quality is on these. I have, let me find it real quick. I can share it. As a matter of fact, I wonder if I could share it in here. How are we playing with that? Let me find it. And I think I could just upload it as a video here. Last time that crashed StreamYard though. Should I do that again? Let's see. The Amcrest can do H2 4K in both 264, 265, I believe. Yeah, they're really inexpensive and they work well. assume I'm make sure context on there. One thing I'll comment on, and I don't know a lot about this. We have people contact us for support on Blue Iris about it just not doing well. I don't know, but anytime we've seen it and we've never deployed, well, we deployed it once years ago. We helped someone with a deployment like 5 years ago with one. The problem I've run into, and people contact us, and we tell them we can't help them. They have Blue Iris, and we just had someone who insisted, and they paid us. We couldn't solve the problem. Once they had a quantity of cameras, and I'm thinking that quantity was like 30 cameras on there, Blue Iris kept choking on them a lot and pausing. The machine was absolutely not out of memory. They had a really, really fast machine, and we just couldn't find a reason why. So Blue Iris seems to be a little bit flaky, but that's based on people asking me. I don't know what the setting is they need to configure. They usually tell me they've exhausted forums and contacting people, blah, blah, blah. I don't really know. I'm not a big fan of Blue Iris, especially because it has to run on Windows. So yeah, it's just, we do a lot of Synology systems because they work so well. I talked about my surveillance station system last time, and it's just one of those things. It works so well. It's hard to argue with the reliability of it. And we're talking people with like a substantial number of, cameras and things like that. So we sent this as a demo. Someone asked about the 2K cameras versus the 4K cameras. So let me actually share a video. This is a smaller video. Hopefully it won't crash StreamYard. But yeah, the quality on these, I don't know how it's going to be destroyed in the live stream upload here. But overall, the quality we get out of these cameras is really good. This is going to be a little bit hard for me to articulate on YouTube. When I do these videos, I'm going to build a special download link so you can actually download the raw video and you see the quality for yourself, because the problem is all the compression that goes on. This video, I already know, looks better when it's uncompressed or not on YouTube or anything like that. I know once you upload it, especially to a live stream, it's going to condense it to a much different bit rate. So the answer is don't even try to use any of the cameras, the UniFi cameras with Synology. They don't work well. And I really, really doubt any of the detection systems would work at all. Isn't Amcrest using the same hardware as the Dahua? Well, probably. Once you start getting into any of these cameras, they slap 20 different names on the same product with a slightly different firmware. And I don't even think the firmware is different. I think it changes the logo. Like the only firmware difference between some of the models is just, that's about it. You're just going to get that. So nonetheless, yeah, I wouldn't trust that the Amcrest cameras. I like the Amcrest because I can find their model numbers and names and have a website, but you could probably, and Hikvision's like this too. Hikvision is the commercial branded one, but when you get away from Hikvision, or not away from them, when you start looking for some of the Hikvision stuff, you'll actually find other companies that have the same name. Or almost, they'll say Hikvision compatible, and they appear to be the same camera. Like you can't tell the difference between the Hikvision and their version. So, yeah, it's all just a bunch of branding. There's just this is the part that people don't always take the time to really read into. China works differently than us. Well, as if that's not a really obvious statement. More specifically, how they work differently is the nature of them. We think of things in very siloed in companies here in America. So we have an American company and we make this widget. And we keep the making of our widget very secret from all of our competitors because we don't want our competitors to know how we make the widget. So we make the widget like this. China works a lot differently. They're very much they share all ideas together constantly because they see themselves as a global team selling to the United States. So they look at competitor as someone selling against them, not someone else from China selling. There's a lot more cooperation inside of there. So you end up with products that have lots of the same name. Weird side note, I learned a lot about this from buying Chinese scooters. I got into doing them, and it was very interesting how you could just, they would use the same part number but have a different name. So you'd have all these different manufacturers, but as long as you knew the engine was one of the, I think it was a GY6 engines, you knew you could get parts compatible with the GY6 motors because they were all the same. Even though they had 10 different brands you could find it under, it was always the same. And I learned it's like, yeah, it just comes out of different areas. The brand is more just like the different plant, but they all share designs. So yeah, sometime I'll bring Chris Titus on. I like Chris. He's a nice guy. Me and Chris have talked a few times. Chris Titus, definitely a nice person. So what else do we have in here? This is one of those things, and I've told people this is well, we were just putting together a customer quote, and they asked, I seen someone else talked about banned and used in public bids in Poland. So the problem is they're banned. I can't remember the name. Is it MPAA? There's a ruling anyways on these that you can't use these. But like this person right here said, like Mike said, always VLAN off those cheap devices. They don't need internet access. So there's not, access is like one of the only competitors. The difference for the same camera, and we gave a person a quote on this the other day. They didn't have a government bid requirement. They just wanted to not buy the Chinese cameras is what they put. They wanted the other one. So we sold them, no problem. You can get access. The same access camera, I can get the one from Amcrest with a 4X optical zoom for $200 something, right? That's per camera, roughly. I think the MSRP on them is like $249 or $259, something under $300. The MSRP on the Axis camera was $1,700 a camera. They needed 100 cameras. So that adds up really quick. It comes down to, I think Axis makes an amazing, solid, really well-built product, but does that fit your budget? That's really what it's going to come down to. And that's what keeps these cameras going, is whether or not they'll fit your budget. No problem. You're talking about spending $1,200 more per camera over X amount of cameras. Is that something you can afford? Is it within the budget for the project? Cool. Go with the Axis cameras. You're supporting a good company. They do I think Axis does a lot of design and development here. I'm not positive, but I know they're not on the ban list. So yeah. Let's see. Would you happen to have any tips regarding getting QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise to run in a server in the cloud while allowing remote production access? I've heard RDP is not. Yeah, don't use RDP. You can do it with a VPN. By the way, this is a short-lived thing. QuickBooks is already kind of setting the precedence in some areas. They plan to start getting rid of everything and only selling online. So I don't know how much longer they're going to keep supporting the desktop version at all. That's not same. Then again, look at the car industry doing the same thing in the US of models from Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury. No, Lincoln and Mercury are divisions of Ford. So it's not the way it works in the auto industry. That's actually where a lot of my basis. I have grown up in the auto industry. It's what lives and breathes here in Detroit. In the auto industry, when they do acquisitions, such as GM owns Chevy, Ford owns Lincoln, Ford owns Mercury, they refer to as a trim level difference. So you're still buying the Ford because Ford owns them, but people have such brand loyalty in the car industry. That's why you would buy. So Ford bought, that brand, but then it just becomes integrated into their product line. They don't keep them separate because it's an acquisition, but then they have different trim packages. You have the trim package you may get under the Mercury branding versus one of the other ones. So it's kind of like if you look at the Chevy trucks versus the GMC trucks, they're part interchangeable with each other, but they have different accessory options you can get when you buy them that way. That's because GM acquired Chevy sometime, I don't remember when, sometime in the past. So it's not really the same as the camera companies. Then again, if you look at China as a single entity, as if it was a business, then yes, I guess it would be the same, because China has all these businesses, but they're not independent businesses. So there are similarities, I guess you could draw. Yeah. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Yes, they've announced it in the UK. US will still have the next release, but that's the thing. How long until they kill it? The writing's on the wall. They're going to be selling everything as a what do you call it? So, yeah, it's a matter of time before it's cloud only. Simple as that. Let's see. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to who and others are all connected. Quo. It's just the way it works. Matter of fact, something you may not be familiar with. We have a manufacturing company that has a division for, well, they don't have it anymore, but they had a division in China. China assigns you like a business partner, whatever that means, but it's a government assigned business partner who works with you there. But that business partner also will have their hands in other businesses. They don't work in the same functional way that we do here. It's a lot different. So I think it's less that SaaS is the future. SaaS is just a business model that works by a lot of things. It kind of but it's more about delivering web-based applications, because no one really wants to. Loading QuickBooks is a pain in the butt. Loading QuickBooks and maintaining it is even harder. When a .NET file breaks in QuickBooks, then you deal with a bunch of stupid QuickBooks support problems. QuickBooks sucks. It's built on really old garbage legacy code, piled on for years. No one's ever taken the time to refactor the code. That's why they're building it in the cloud, because no one wants to support desktop apps. The reality is the future is not as much in the desktop app market. It's more delivering things as a web-enabled service. Also, as a side effect of that, yes, it's also about delivering something on a recurring revenue basis, because, yeah. Well, I didn't say it didn't suck as a web app, though. QuickBooks sucks as a web app, but it also sucks as a desktop app. It's not good either way. So, yep, I do the same thing. QB, I never used QB Desktop. We've actually been using KMy Money for, I don't know, over 10 years, I think. And of course, we use the Invoice Ninja as well. Yeah, we're still using Invoice Ninja. It's what works. Yes. If you're getting an accountant that's getting senile and doesn't know how to switch to multi-user mode, time to get a new accountant. I'll throw that out there. Remove. What else was we going to talk about? Yeah, I'm going to do a deep dive on some of the surveillance station stuff, especially the cameras. I have a variety of cameras here. We bought, like I said, a handful of them. So I'll be covering the cameras, physically showing them. That way people can make some intelligent decisions on those. I already know I'm going to have to address at the beginning of the video. What about my favorite camera? Look, I don't have time to order every camera under the sun. We tried some of the Reolinks in the past. We had some random failures with Reolink. We found that the Amcrest ones have the least amount of failures. Doing plenty of reading online, we found that, the Hikvision 2 are pretty good, but I actually, comparatively speaking, we found the Amcrest reliable, good product availability, good product variety, works with Synology, sold. That's why we keep selling so many of those. We still sell a lot of the UniFi systems, but the UniFi ones are just, I'm going to have to make a list on, we actually have a little bit of information we're going to be able to put together on this. Brett has a list now. We contacted a bunch of vendors and we found out some of them are just not going to get here. And they're not going to get here till we learned one of our orders that we already placed won't be here till March of 2022 that we placed in August of 2021. So yeah. Any good surveillance station alternatives for the TrueNAS users? I'm not aware of anything good. There's stuff out there, but nothing in comparison to surveillance station. That's the problem. There's a bunch of really basic stuff out there that just isn't there. You know what I mean? It's not at the same level. So, I don't really there's Synology surveillance station. There's a lot of other companies out there making different things. We still do do quite a few exact vision systems. We just bought some more licensing for that. But the licensing isn't perpetual on exact vision. And that sometimes is enough to rule people out. The fact that they keep redoing it. I know some people really like, we mentioned it early in the thing is like, the blue iris. So there's other things out there, but none of them are in blue iris runs in Windows. So it doesn't solve your TrueNAS problem at all. I don't know. I've never run XPnology, so I have no idea a surveillance station will run in it. I am extremely doubtful that it will because I believe it's a licensed feature. When I say licensed, as in comes with the Synology, but can't be run independent of the Synology. How are you coming along with your testing at TrueNAS scale? I dropped it for a while as I got busy. I just haven't had time to test it. So I haven't really done any TrueNAS scale testing. I know it's coming along. I know other people are testing it. We loaded a system with it. I reverted it back when I had a problem, performance, and I just didn't move back. Someone said the nightlies are better, but I just haven't had time to run the nightlies. It's kind of, like I said, on my to-do list. So definitely not on my done list. I have too many other things I have to finish. I have to finish the review as I got to return it. I have a demo unit from Synology, a rack station. Those are some of the, what model is that? It's the, I'm going to pull it up and talk about it a little bit, but I'm doing a review on this. I've already done all the benchmarks and everything else. I just got to cover some of the hardware on it. As soon as I find it, there it is. Share screen, Chrome tab. So I'll be reviewing this right here. Hey, Grayson, thank you very much for the donation. Head of information technology for my entire family. That is a job. Yes. That's a job for sure. Oh, okay, cool. Yes, I got one of each. I got a dome and a bullet from them, so I can show the differences. There's different advantages for both. So I do have both of them for the camera reviews. But yeah, this is the one I'm reviewing right now. I have a 25 gig card in it, so that's what I'll be reviewing it with is a 25 gig card. But yeah, it's really nice. I really like this system. It works well. This is the part everyone's going to be mad about. Works best with Synology drives. This is going to send people through the roof because it's not that you can't use non-Synology drives. You just have to deal with an error message when you don't use Synology drives that won't go away. So I'll comment on that. Yeah. It's a thing. So I don't know. Performance and everything else is really good on this. Everything else is good. The review is going to be positive. It's just, the drive thing, but I get completely while they're doing it. So I'm going to have a little side note about them doing that. So yeah. Oh, the UniFi 360 camera. It's going to be interesting seeing what UniFi has. Where is, I'm going to have to do, I have the new UniFi MVR. I've actually had it for a while. We've been using it. It's actually what runs our cameras here is the new UniFi MVR. So it'll be something I do in review. It's only the Synology requiring their drives is something. So the reason I do it, and I've talked about this before, and we'll talk about it again. Earn digital is this right here. Western Digital caught bait and switching customers with slow SSDs. This is a real challenge for anyone who's dealing with hard drives from a performance standpoint, where they switched them out. And companies without, what did they have the comparisons? Let's see. New versus here. But when you're trying to build a product with different drives, and you have drive companies not following what they're supposed to, or giving one thing for a demo and something different later, any of these companies, when they want to provide something at a expected rate of performance, they're going to have a real problem if companies switch out the drives to be something that they weren't. So you kind of get, I get where Synology is going. Like, we'll do this. Not to mention, Synology, when you use their drives, is also, if I'm not mistaken here, let's see, it's in hardware features. Actually, we'll share a screen back so you can see what I'm seeing here. There's a couple cool things you get on here. I think, yeah, purpose built. So here's the different drives, but I believe the warranty on them is 5 years. See, let me find if they have the warranty in here. This is one of the, 5 years. So this is one of the things about that as well. One, they can do firmware updates. If these drives need some type of firmware pushed to them, the Synology knows which drives they are, can push firmware. They're in the list. Second, they come with a 5-year warranty you get through Synology. So if you're buying a performance system to stick in your rack, and you want all those performant features, this is Synology catering to that enterprise market. That enterprise market, that's the things they want. They want a 5-year life cycle on a device. They want a guarantee for the next 5 years that it's going to work, that it's not going to have problems, and that if there is a problem, including a drive failure, we don't have to figure out where we bought the drive from. We can just contact Synology top to bottom. So it's not that they're trying to force this on everybody. Matter of fact, they know the market of people and home users that are shucking drives. I know, I talk to Synology people all the time. They know that market. They're like, why would we stop that market? We want to be able to make the enterprise user happy. We don't want to stop making the people happy that are the home users that are shucking random hard drives that they can find and putting them in these disk stations that they have at home. They understand they're catering to both markets. And going through and certifying the drives makes sense to me from a business standpoint, because that's what businesses ask for, right? They want something that comes with it. We know we sell the IX systems as well. They want guarantees. We sell, SLA agreements and contracts with the large enterprise systems that we sell. So have you tried using the Stream Link for surveillance station for monitoring using H264? I have not tested the difference between the 264 and 265 compression. Honestly, networks are so fast, it hasn't been an issue. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a substantial difference. I haven't played with it much. It's on my to-do list. We bought a few more cameras that we have here at the office that literally are going to be dedicated to that purpose. Matter of fact, we probably have. I have one of them plugged in here. Let me see. Yep, there's one in the office right now, so can look at the 3D printer. That's weird that that's backwards. We must have the camera flipped. Neat. Amcrest. It's weird that it's set to mirror. They were playing with the settings on it. Ah. What else do we have in here? I'll give it about 5 more minutes before I got to run to my next thing I have to go to. What brand 3D printer is that? I have no idea. I have no clue. I did a video on 3D printers. It's the one I did a video on that I had to bring Miles in because I don't know anything about 3D printers. I know that's a 3D printer. I know they print a lot of cool things. I don't know anything else. I've not used it. I don't even know how to use a 3D printer. I do know as a company, I own several of them. Yes, dual extrusion, and I know it has a laser thing on it. So they were doing laser stuff with it. But yeah, enhance. Does anyone recognize? It's on the logo. It's got this thing. We have a Raspberry Pi hooked up to it to send jobs. We had Octopi set up. I've not done videos on this because I don't know. I have no idea. I just know we print things on it. Lots of things. There's so many things that get printed. I'm looking to see. I think I have stuff up there around here. Here, I'll show you something cool. I have a base for a UniFi camera, so when we do our testing, this is 3D printed as well. Oh, good, perfect. Miles is in here. Lot Max Shark SC10. Shark spelled properly. So yes, that's the one. There's so many random things like in the office that get printed. I just know nothing about it. So yeah, I just know this is cool because this got printed. It's handy when you want to test a UniFi camera and you don't want it to roll around everywhere. So I did a video with Jay from Learn Linux TV where we talk about some rack mounted stuff. We made a rack mounted Raspberry Pi with a 3D printer. Jay doesn't have a 3D printer. I printed that for him. So there's that. Yeah. So a few more questions in here. Miles knows how to tweak it. Maybe we got to do it. Me and Miles should just do a dedicated 3D printer video. I don't know anything about it. He's really good at it. It's something he's taking the time to learn. Well, that's a question too. Yeah. I think Miles likes it. So we'll let him answer. Because the Ender 3 drives him nuts. I can just yell through the door. Let's just get Miles. He's on the other side of this door. 1 second. Oh, so are you taking back the question? Okay. All right, he's typing back. I've never used Unraid, so I say use TrueNAS. I've never used Unraid, so. Miles is typing. Yeah, the dual extrusion makes it really. I just know from the whole how things. What do you call it? How everything works is with the dual extrusion. Watching how it creates these little things. So these what do you want to call them? They're the spots where it has to get rid of the one color before it goes to the next color. There's how little I know about 3D printers. Watching Tom describe 3D printers. Oh, we'll 3D print something in the new office. I don't know what. Yeah, dual extrusion for under $400. The pricing is really good on it. I do know that. So the only thing Tom ever knows is sometimes how much stuff costs, right? I've never paid for WinRAR. Not really. Is TrueNAS better for functionality? Probably not. But it depends what that functionality is you're looking for. TrueNAS is going to be way better in performance than Unraid, but Unraid has more pass-through options for people that want to do pass-through hardware and things like that. So yes. Yeah, Unraid's not, it's not an unstable product or anything like that, but yeah, it's not going to perform like TrueNAS, that's for sure. It just doesn't have the ability. It's not designed for performance. It's not designed for the commercial market. It's really designed more for the home user market for a lot of things. It's not a bad product. It's just not something I have an interest in using. That's the biggest thing, is not having interest in using it, because like I say so many times, I don't have a use case for that. And there's plenty of people who do videos on it. So it's not like there's some deficit on the internet of knowledge about Unraid. There's a few YouTube channels that have spent a lot of time creating Unraid videos. So no, it does not natively support ZFS, but I think they're working on something for it, but it doesn't have any native support for it. But yeah, Unraid is bringing in support for ZFS. Okay, I've heard they're doing it, but I don't really, not really sure. I just know it's not as performance oriented. It's not really in the commercial markets at all. And you got to remember, I mean, I do like the Home Lab show and things like that, but I have one foot in the enterprise market selling some of these large solutions. So it's not that I'm only doing just home lab stuff. I do some of that too, but TrueNAS is such a weird system because, we're installing 1.2 petabyte TrueNAS systems for very, very large customers with high data needs. And we're also sometimes helping somebody set up their TrueNAS that's a much smaller setup. It works on both sides of it. So quite a bit there. All right. Is there any more final questions before we move? Let's see. Large customers. Oh, large as in they spend large amounts of money and buy things. So hopefully that makes sense. Any other final questions? I'll give it 2 more minutes and then I'm out of here. Hey, look, I just got to notice that my channel's going live. I subscribe to myself from my personal channel so I can see what other people see. They're right, though. That's strange that YouTube is delayed on sometimes sending out going live notices. Whatever. That's life. Any other final questions before I wrap this up? Look forward to doing some more videos. I'll have that Synology video done soon. I will have the videos about the cameras done soon, and somewhere in between I'm getting my new studio done. So I mentioned it at the beginning of the video here. So if you want to scroll back to the beginning, you can see some of the stuff I talked about with this new studio I'm building. Yes, it's at my house. I don't think I answered it in this one. I talked about it last time, but I'm building it in a huge section of my basement that I wasn't using anyways. And that way I can do more streams late at night and have lots of fun. So thank you all for joining me. I have to run because I have a physical in-person event I have to go to. So if that can be believed. Weird saying that, going and seeing people at a physical location. I like seeing them online most of the time, but hey, sometimes I guess I gotta leave behind this little desk here. All right, thank you very much. Oh, I always stream on Thanksgiving, for those wondering. Yeah. Assuming I think it's next week Thanksgiving. Is that why you said that? I don't know. I don't know when Thanksgiving. I know Thanksgiving falls on Thursdays. So, all right. Yeah. Matter, I hide. I hide from everyone coming over to my house. Everyone, so a lot of people want to come over to my house. I just hide at the office for a while. I do Thanksgiving morning streams. So, because I don't want to be a bunch of, yeah, I hide. I'm not always that social. All right. Thanks.